It's the Poojie Podcast, proudly sponsored by Cimarron Golf Club. What is going on, Pooch Crew? Thank you for being here for episode 107. Extremely excited to be here because we are only a few days away from Week 1 Sunday NFL. Scott Hansen, NFL Red Zone. 7 hours of uninterrupted football. Cannot wait for that. Cannot wait to dive in to the Jaguars Week 1 matchup versus the Houston Texans out in Houston, as well as other NFL storylines. Extremely excited to be here. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Google, go follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, do all of that great stuff as well. If you're watching on YouTube, go find us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. That gives you some time to listen to us on the go. So it'll be great to listen to us on the go. Be sure to go do that. But for right now, let's welcome in the Jags panel. We're back for season number 2 here on the Poojie Podcast. We have Sam Leggett. We have Jacob Myers here. Guys, how are we feeling on this beautiful Wednesday night?
Bro, it makes it crazy when you say for season 2. Like, I feel like we've done this for so long now. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but season 2 is getting started.
And more excitement than ever. Sam, what about you?
I feel good, ready to watch the game tomorrow. Got all my fantasy teams lined up. Got a last draft tonight, so excited about my
final draft the night before the season actually begins.
Yeah, it's kind of last minute, So that's how you know that you got everyone, in that's not hurt. You don't be like my roommate who drafted J.K. Dobbins after he was hurt. None of that's happening. No auto draft.
Yeah, wait. Drafted him after he already got hurt?
He got hurt. The thing is all these things, Yahoo still has him ranked, as the 12th best running back.
I always thought that was weird.
It takes
the injured players are still at their ranking, but
yeah, as soon as a player gets injured, honestly, they should just take him off the draft board. Because you're going to have people auto-drafting afterward that don't really have a say. And then they just get drafted.
He was like, should this guy or should I pick this guy? Oh, who should I do? And then auto-draft, and it was J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, my gosh. Maddie, no. Maddie.
No, it was the other one. Maddie would never do something that foolish.
Oh, Piggy?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Maddie. I'm sorry.
Maddie, we thought you were dumb for a second.
I knew I should have believed in Maddie.
Jeez. Well, that's wild. Well, I've had 2 fantasy drafts, and I'm feeling good about both my teams outside of a few positions on some of them, but feeling all right, and we'll see how far it takes us. Is there one guy in fantasy football this year that you just think is the ultimate sleeper that people are just missing out on?
No, but I need fucking DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders for somehow to have a good season.
Oh my God, that's such an awful thing to rely on.
I feel like you'd be lucky. I feel like you'd be lucky if one of those guys does well.
Right. So, that's basically
and you need both of them.
Well, no, I just need one. Yeah, exactly. If both of them suck, then it's a failed season for both leagues, and I need to fucking.
Well, I kind of went away from my own strategy. I ended up drafting a quarterback in the top 4 rounds, and it was Kyler Murray. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, you scooped my pick. You were right.
I was going to take him too. You got it. I was going to take him. Cards fall. You take him at a certain point.
I know. He was there, and I took him, but I don't typically take a quarterback until about the 7th or 8th round anyway, but he was there, so I took him. So I'm sorry, Sam, not sorry. But I'm excited. I'm excited for my team. Hey, and you know what? For a long time as Jags fans, we've had about 16 weeks of the season to just be excited about fantasy football since our team has been trash. So, but let's get into this Jaguars Week 1 matchup against the Texans. I was thinking about this game today, guys, and this is pretty much about best case scenario you could imagine for the Jaguars, unless they come out and lay an egg. Then it's worst case scenario. But overall, everything being equal and the expectations living up to the hype, I could not have imagined a better Week 1 matchup unless it was maybe at home. That would be the only outlier. But, I'm feeling very good about this matchup and very, very confident going into Week 1 on Sunday.
Yeah. So Urban Meyer was saying today, even better, he was like, week one's really important. You obviously want to get off to a hot start. So it's like, I think that when they were making the schedule, they kind of put this game in like, oh, the Jags, basically a whole new team, new organization. Let's give them let's give them an easy win, get them rolling kind of thing. I don't know how that's how they decide, but it just seemed like it was too easy,
I mean, maybe the NFL said, oh, it'll be Deshaun Watson versus Trevor Lawrence, Clemson versus Clemson.
Oh, true.
That actually would have been sick, and we probably would have gotten destroyed.
Yo, but the Texans are freaking just like, what's going on with these guys? Let's talk about them. Bradley traded to the Saints.
Yeah, Bradley Roby.
You got other players on their team kind of tweeting, being like, yo, I don't know what's going on, man, but like go out there and kill it, like talking to like Bradley Roby like that. So it's kind of crazy. But
didn't Randall Cobb, he was the one that was there, and then he got traded back to the Packers per Aaron Rodgers' request. I'm pretty sure he said it was awful there. Like he came back and said, and here's the thing. I was very happy to see Trevor Lawrence perform the way he did in our final preseason game. And the caveat with that was, all right, who did the Cowboys play, really? They didn't really play anyone of like their starters, but it was good to see Trevor kind of get that, under his belt before the season started. And I was looking at this game and I was like, okay, like, this is the first time we're going to see Trevor play live regular season NFL football where the other team's playing there. And then I stopped. And I was like, when I thought, man, like the Houston Texans starters aren't really that scary. So he's going to be playing a starting unit. But fortunately for us, it's not a quality starting unit on either side. I mean, they got Tyrod Taylor playing. That's how he says his name. It's weird. They got every running back you've had in fantasy that was your running back too over the last decade. They have them. They have Brandon Cooks, who, he might take one over the top, but I don't even know who their defense is. This is going to be a game where we're almost like, should we see a repeat performance from Trevor Lawrence, because it's not a devastatingly like strong unit.
Yeah. I expect almost a repeat performance, but as a Jaguar fan, I'm used to tapering my expectations, but I feel like this whole week, I'm not letting that happen. I'm fully expecting to go out there and throttle this team, and I'm not letting and then here's the deal. If we don't throttle this team, then I'll be like, okay, back to Jaguar football, tapered expectations. But like, when was the last time going into a game you've been able to go into it confidently and say, we are going to boot stomp this team into the turf, and they don't have a chance? Justin, I just want to have that feeling.
Do that. I agree with you. I want to have that feeling too. But temper your expectations. I think this game we shouldn't have to, but just let it happen. Have some low expectations and let them rise as you watch the game. If you set expectations up here, you're only allowing yourself to be disappointed. I'm not saying we're going to be disappointed, but in the off chance that we do, you're going to hate yourself.
But, dude, I'm disappointed
for the unknown.
I'm disappointed all the time as a Jags fan. So let the free fall happen at the beginning of the season and then build me back up with like some quality performances. But honestly, it really does have that feeling of going into the 2017 game at Houston back when Saxonville kind of came onto the scene, because who wasn't starting for Houston? Deshaun Watson. Week 1 in Houston after a hurricane that went through that Gulf of Mexico area, and Jacksonville went into Houston and just dominated out of nowhere. I think there's a lot higher expectations this year because of the whole Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones, James Robinson trio with Chenault and Chark and all the other good offensive players we have. But yeah, I think for 1 week I'm going to let myself get away from my true identity, and I'm going to let myself get a little excited on Saturday night, Sunday morning to see something great. Sam, you don't look too happy there. What's going on?
I think we pretty much got the whole spectrum of Jags fans here. I'm keeping my expectations low. And then when like it's obvious that we're good, then I'll come out and be like, "Oh, I knew we were gonna win the whole time."
Yeah, okay. Well, at least you're on the record.
Right.
It's just it's just gonna be really bad if we lose. That's the only reason my expectations are really low, because if I get them high and then we lose, I'll be really sad, because it's basically we're fucking garbage. Whereas if you keep them low, there's only way up is up.
I think that's where I'm at. I'm not keeping my expectations low as much as I'm not just assuming we're going to come out and like just absolutely destroy the Texans. Should we? We should have a pretty good game against them because I don't think like in this league it's all about the quarterback matchup pretty much. And when you have the quarterback that's better than the other quarterback, usually unless you have a 2017 Jaguars defense, you win the game. And so I think if I was going to take Trevor Lawrence over Tyrod Taylor, most people would. What shows up from the Texans. They're still a professional team. They still have like grown men on that team that make a living, and they're not going to assume, oh, we're just going to lose. I mean, look at us. We won week 1 last week, or last year, I should say, against the Colts, and then we lost 15 straight games. So we don't need to just assume we're going to win, but I think I have good expectations that we should win this game, and we shouldn't have a problem getting going.
Yeah. I mean, so let's be real. If let's say things do go south, let's just identify why that would happen. Is there a part of this team that you think would be the sole reason things could go south on Sunday compared to what the Texans are throwing at us? Is there anything out there that you think, oh shit, this is going to be the weakness?
It's got to be Trevor. I mean, it's got to just be whether he brings it or not. Because if he brings it, I don't think we should have a problem winning the game. But if he struggles, like we're not gonna maybe like not score a few drives and have the running team of, because the Texans are gonna run the ball a lot, I'm sure. They don't have a great throwing quarterback. He still can sling it. They don't have great weapons at the receiver position. They have about every running back you can think of, like I said. And I don't think they're going to be in a shootout with us. So if Trevor Lawrence is on, I think we win it by a decent margin. If he struggles, it's close.
I don't know, Jacob. I think you should take a closer look at their offense. Think about –
They got Chris Conley.
I get that. Their receiver. I get they have a lot of running backs, but just think about what happens when, Tyrod Taylor and Brandon Cooks just start. I mean, you saw what happened with the Saints. They had Marquez Callaway and Jameis Winston, and those were our starting cornerbacks that they balled on. Our starters. Those are the guys that are going to be out there on Sunday going up against Brandon Cooks, who played us last time they played us, he burned us for like 200 yards.
He also had Deshaun Watson thrown to him, right?
So, yeah, I get that. But
he's dangerous still. But I'm not as worried about Tyrod Taylor.
I get it's obviously a downgrade from Deshaun, and if Deshaun Watson was playing, it would vault Brandon Cooks up into wide receiver 1 territory this week. But I still think that we need to be concerned about the deep passing game with Brandon Cooks. I think that's going to be the way that they win. I mean, it's not going to be with their running backs. I mean, maybe passing out of the backfield to them, but I think it's going to be going over the top. They just score,
I don't think that'll happen again. Not like that. I don't. No.
Dude, it was just so bad in that preseason game. They did it one time, and then they were let's fucking do it again. And then they did it, and we were impervious or unable to stop it. Literally unable.
To put that in perspective, we had a rookie make a very bad mistake on that first play, and even the second play. Rookie's going to be
starting the game, Jacob.
No, Tyson Campbell absolutely knocked Shaquille Griffin out of defending that first.
Those are the guys that'll be on the field.
Well, they took him out right after CJ was going to be on the field, and then on the second one, I think Shaquille actually had very good coverage. Marquez Callaway just made an amazing play, but you got to think, Marquez Callaway, what is he, a rookie? He's trying to make a team. He's trying to show out in preseason. Shaquille Griffin's we're just trying to get the preseason. I'm not trying to get hurt. I don't think Shaquille Griffin is a liability. Do you think Shaquille Griffin's a liability on our defense?
No, but I think that
then.
It's concerning.
There's one deep ball on us for a touchdown. No, I'm saying this game. If there's one, I don't think they're going to allow 2 or 3.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought up the whole defensive back discussion, because outside of Shaquille Griffin, I'll preface it with that. That's where I was going to say the weakness lies. Is where we have young safety Andre Sisco, Rayshon Jenkins, obviously new to the scheme. We'll see how that works. C.J. Henderson, hopefully CJ Henderson, he's in like a prove it year, even though it's his second year. He wants to come out and kind of silence the haters, build some confidence. But when you look at it, that's kind of where my biggest hesitation does lie, is there in the secondary. Just the only benefit, the only positive right now is the fact that it is Tyrod Taylor throwing the football, and he doesn't really scare me that much. I mean, this is a guy that led the Buffalo Bills into the playoffs back in 2017, and the Bills put up a field goal against Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Stadium in Wild Card Weekend. Like, he's not the kind of quarterback that is going to take over the game with his arm. This isn't the type of guy. Granted, he was going up against Ramsey and Boye
Really
and
good
Church
defense.
and Gibson and all those guys. Really good defensive backs. What's up?
He came in, I think.
No, he came in. That's right.
Oh wait,
Came in.
no. Did he play that? Or did he
Yeah.
get hurt,
I
and
thought
then
he came in
Nathan
late.
Peterman came in, and then bye.
Yeah, so it became a shitty game, and it was 10-3. We still won, whatever. But I don't see any part. Like, this isn't like they still have like a dominant running back or DeAndre Hopkins. Like, there's not one part of the Houston Texan offense that I look at and say that's the guy we got to cover. And maybe that's a problem. Maybe it's because
Absolutely.
maybe
You don't think-
cohesively.
You don't think Brandon Cooks is a potential issue? So
No,
you got-
No, he
You guys
absolutely is.
right.
Brent-
You said Marquez Callaway. You're like, oh well, he was able to score on us, but it's no big deal. Like Brandon
I think
Cooks.
my point is less about it happened already in preseason. I would hope that a professional staff and team and player would learn from that and not make the same mistake over and over. You know what I'm saying? So I think my point is less that Brandon Cooks is definitely a deep threat and we need to watch out for him. I'm hoping they're just aware and they prepare for that rather than find out, oh shoot, we just let him beat us deep a couple times. They need to be aware of that. And I think they
Bro.
will be.
I just know Tyrod Taylor's a shooter too. Been in the league a long time. That guy's not just gonna come out and put up like 150 yards. Like he's gonna come out and ball like against these guys. Personally, that's what I think. That's the only way. If we can outscore them and play good run defense, which we will. I mean, then we got our shot with Trevor. But there's no guarantee. Personally,
And I think the other thing to think about Tyrod Taylor is he's the kind of backup that I almost viewed as similar to Gardner Minshew, where, he's the starter now, but he's the kind of journeyman backup type quarterback who has enough experience in the league and can go out and win you football games. So, ironically, on the other side of the coin, the Texans have to be sitting there saying, this is a great matchup for us as well, because Tyrod Taylor is playing the Jaguars. As much as we're saying Trevor Lawrence is playing the Texans, and we're excited about that, I think there's a little bit of confidence in them knowing they're playing the Jaguars at home and not, some team like the Packers or the Dolphins or something like that, a team that is quality in all aspects of their team. So the Texans probably have some confidence too, and Tyrod Taylor is a good enough quarterback, I think, to get the job done. Now we talked about Trevor Lawrence. How do we see him faring in this game? Does the Texans defense do anything to scare you? If Trevor Lawrence doesn't perform well, is it more on his own accord, or is it because the defense steps up on the Texans and plays too well?
Yeah, we just talked about how they got rid of their number one cornerback for the Texans today. So it seems like they're in kind of like a rebuild. But, they don't have much talent at cornerback, and they got Whitney Merciless coming off the edge, and that's about it for their pass rush. So, it's on Trevor, I guess. He can ball. He's got all his starters. There's no one hurt, right? All 5 guys on the O-line. First game. So there's going to be a little bit of rust, but let's go out and show out.
No excuses.
That's why I
excuses.
believe the X factor of the game, it's a very obvious one, is just Trevor. He's a rookie. It's his first game, but I think if he plays well and does something like we did in preseason week 3, then we should win the game because I think overall the talent is better on our side. Now, if he doesn't play well, and I say play well, maybe he throws a couple picks or has some turnovers, keeps the game close, that's where we can get in trouble because Tyrod Taylor, he's a veteran. He's been around. So is Brandon Cooks. That's where it's dangerous. But I'm not afraid of Vernon Hargraves, so I just looked up, and Terrence Mitchell as their starting corners.
Oh.
And then Eric Reed No. Justin Reed. I'm sorry.
He's pretty
And
good.
he's not bad, but then Eric Murray. So like I don't really know much about their secondary. That I think as long as he's protected, confident in making his decisions, we should have a good time on offense. And we don't forget James Robinson. He plays well, like he did last year. Then this run defense isn't even that good. So I think he could help Trevor keep the ball moving, not have to do too much. And as long as we're scoring on offense, the defense doesn't have to be the one winning us the game like in years past.
Does a win here satisfy you as a Jaguar fan, or is there a certain expectation as far as scoring goes that you 24-23, do you come out of that feeling good, or do you want it, does it have to be 24-10, 24-14? Is there an expectation from you guys as far as the feeling of the win goes, or would a win be enough?
Well, I think it's an eye test type thing. I think a win should be a win, but you'll see it. Like if we won 24, 20, whatever, 21, was it because we were lacking, or was it because Tyrod Taylor and maybe Mark Ingram or Brandon Cooks, they were balling out better than we expected? If they're performing better than we expected and like doing stuff that we expect these veterans to do, I'm not as like annoyed by it than if they look like trash, but then we look like trash too, and we win a close game.
Yeah. Sam, what about you, man?
I was gonna say like the same thing. I mean, if they if it's obvious that we're gonna win, like maybe by like, I mean, if it's just obvious toward the end of the game that okay we won, instead of it being like the Texans just one play away from like, and it gets like that, then I mean but
yeah, because that's happened a lot of times in the past with the Jags where. You just never feel safe. You could have a lead. My dad will tell you the Ravens game back in like 2018 when he left when we were winning, and then we ended up losing, and he already knew we were going to lose. And it's just the way it is as Jags fans. That's how it feels. But aside from – go for it, Jacob.
I was going to say, does it make a difference to you? I shouldn't say make a difference in what you think. But I noticed on their depth chart, the Texans have 2 running back spots on their depth chart as opposed to 1. Do you think they come out, utilizing their, maybe 2 running back sets, and they have Tyrod Taylor who runs and try to run some read options or zone? Like they could play around because they know, straight up they don't have top tier talent, but they could maybe pull a Navy and just start doing some weird, crazy run schemes with their.
No.
You don't think so?
No, don't. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, don't forget about you're saying Mark Ingram and the old David Johnson.
It's David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, and Rex Burkhead. I don't remember if Burkhead's even healthy.
That is like a 2000. That's like a 2015 fantasy running back roster.
If you're watching this was your running back 2. One of these guys was your running back 2 at some point. Potentially your running back 1 in David Johnson and Mark Ingram. You guys had these guys on your team, and now they're on the waiver wire.
I think the thing that you just mentioned about all the options and the different scheme on offense, I think it's tough to attack a 3-4 defense trying to run outside just because you have so much speed on the edge with Caleb Von Chason and Josh Allen. You have so many people that can make a difference on the edge. They're going to have to do their work up the middle on a 3-4 defense for the most part. So we'll see. I mean, that might be Mark Ingram territory. We've seen him do it a bunch of times in Baltimore, and then even in New England or in New Orleans when they had Alvin Kamara. Mark Ingram still ate. He still feasted at times. So I think the interior defensive line is a little bit scary for me until we see guys like Roy Robertson Harris step in there and make some plays, among other people. Hopefully they can step up and make some plays. I mean, it comes down to that. It's that simple. Week 1, Jags Texans. Let's say we win this game. What does a win mean for the Jags? And then we'll do what does a loss mean for the Jags. How would we feel after this, guys?
I'd be pissed.
With a loss?
Yeah, I was going to say he apparently started with a loss. A win to me means, all right, headed in the right direction. I'm not on a high horse yet because we know we're potentially playing the number 1 pick in the draft. Like coming up, this team's going to probably be amongst the worst teams in the league. So to me, a win means we're on the right track. But then we have a tough test against Denver the following week against a real solid defense. So a loss, I would say, depending on how it looks, it's not the end of the world. We're not expected to go beat the world this year. I just want to see Trevor look like he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Okay, let me say this. To me, a loss is the end of the world in this game because unless Trevor looks fantastic and the defense just doesn't hold up, if we lose this game because of the offense, it's the end of the world to me. If we lose this game and it's 38-35, I'm okay with it because realistically, we know this isn't the year anyway. It's, we're building for next year and the following years with Trevor Lawrence. So if it's like a 14-10 loss, then I'm pissed because the defense did their part and the offense couldn't get it going. If it's a 38-35 loss, then I'm okay with it because obviously the offense looked good. And all we really care about right now is how Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson look with Chenault and Marvin Jones and DJ Chark. That's what it comes down to for me. A win, I'm ecstatic going into week 2 against Denver, who, yes, they have Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm pretty sure, did they name him the starter?
Yes.
Teddy B. Yeah. So they're going Teddy Bridgewater, another player a little bit better than Tyrod Taylor, but another journeyman quarterback who's got injury issues as well. So we're going up against another team that lacks identity in the Denver Broncos. There's a very good chance to start 2-0 with the Arizona Cardinals coming into Jacksonville. So if we can win this game and just start off hot on the right foot, build some confidence under Urban Meyer, you have Denver coming in with a good defense, but a subpar offense, I would say. I don't even think they know who their running back is.
I'm a little afraid of Denver's offense. They have Cortland Sutton, who, if he's healthy, could be dangerous, and Jerry Jeudy. And I don't think I'm worried about – I mean, I'm not as worried about maybe the run game. But Teddy Bridgewater, he's a good vet and a very accurate veteran quarterback. Hopefully we win this game against the Texans, and I'll feel better going into that game. But I'm glad that game's at home. And that'll be a true litmus test for me about how does Trevor look against a defense that we think is quality.
Denver coming all the way across the land from Denver. So
I feel like we always go there. Thank God they finally come here.
Yeah, I'll never forget as a kid. I was so excited to watch the Jags play the Broncos because Champ Bailey's my favorite player of all time. And he sat out that game when they played here in Jacksonville, and I was so pissed off.
Let's sit him.
It was awful. He was injured. They didn't play him, and I was so heartbroken. I'll never forget that. But it'll be interesting to see. Let's. Do you guys want to do predictions for this game now, or you want to get into what else is going on in the NFL Week 1?
What else is going on?
Let's take a look. Well, let's start with tonight's game. It's Thursday morning when people are listening to this. Let's start with Thursday night game.
All right.
Bucks Cowboys.
All right. I got a hot take for this one. There's no fucking way that the Cowboys win this game.
Yeah.
Hot take. That's in the freezer, Sam.
No fucking way.
It's in Tampa.
The Bucks are gonna let them win, and that team. I mean, they got no defense still. The freaking Cowboys. Who do they have?
Micah Parsons looks good, but he's not gonna change everything.
I get that, but they already have. I mean, I feel like linebacker was one of their
strengths
on offense. So it's just or defense. But yeah, there's no way that they win. Honestly, the Bucks are gonna be coming out trying to prove. Dak Prescott's still is he 100%? We don't. Does anyone really know?
But Zeke looks good, man.
Oh, dude. Zeke looks like a completely different player, in my opinion.
He looks good.
He's going to be a beast.
And they have Amari Cooper. They have CeeDee Lamb. They do have some weapons.
Everyone's kind of forgetting that Tampa Bay had the best defense last year and that, they're going to be really fucking good still.
And I think that's where the difference lies. I think
right.
We have two really strong offenses, but with Tampa's defense – and I think also Tom Brady is going to have an effect on the entire team in terms of hey, most of the time when a team goes to a Super Bowl, people tell you they get the hangover. Well, guess who never gets the Super Bowl hangover? Tom Brady and his Super Bowl teams. They're usually right back in it the next year. He's repeated multiple times. I think he will get the entire team on board with hey, I've done this before. If you follow my lead, we are going to go into the season coming in hot. Don't let that creep up on you. So I think they're going to win as well. I think it's going to be the defense that makes the difference, but it could be, Dak and the two receivers you mentioned, trying to keep it close.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think a guy like Tom Brady keeps the ship upright and moving forward and doesn't let them get distracted by last year's successes. because I've said it, and I said it in college football. Previous year successes does not dictate future year successes. You got to stay in the now. Like, you have to play in the now, and Tom Brady's really good at that. I just want to put this out here. Hot take, Jags are leading the AFC South after week 1. Hot take. Seahawks at Colts, Cardinals at Titans. That's all I'm saying. Seahawks at Colts, how do we feel about that?
Don't the Colts play pretty good at home though? I mean, and then that's a long way. It's a long flight.
I got to see what that Seahawks defense looks like.
This could be very similar. This could be very similar to the whole Bucks Cowboys thing, where it's just like the Seahawks defense just might not show up.
So the problem is I watched some of the Seahawks preseason games, and they have you can tell that they have a different feel on defense. It's like a whole new identity almost. They gave Jamal Adams that contract, and this year you can tell that they're coming. The Seahawks defense is going to be good, and that's. Do we
know who's playing
this season?
Who's playing quarterback for the Colts this week? Is it Carson Wentz, or is it going to be Jacob Eason or Sam Ellinger?
I believe it was Carson. I think they've announced that.
So one of the other two guys will be in by halftime?
Oh,
hopefully.
No. I think Carson Wentz is playing. No?
I think it's Carson Wentz.
Jonathan Taylor can have some running lanes.
This just in, breaking news. Change your fantasy lineups. Jonathan Taylor out for the year.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that they but no, for real, the Seahawks are actually, I think that their defense is going to be good this year. The past few years, they have everybody's, the Seahawks defense, blah, blah, blah. I think the Jamal Adams signing, and I think that they got a bunch of hitters. So
that's a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Seahawks at Indianapolis. And then we have Arizona at Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3 in that one, which they typically say 3 points is pretty much just home field advantage. So there's really not much separating the Cardinals and the Titans outside of a little guy named Derrick Henry. Other than that,
Tennessee's defense was very bad last year, wasn't it? Or at least the passing defense. I feel like they let up a lot.
Yeah, they underperformed.
We're talking about Kyler Murray, the Tennessee Titans pass defense.
Oh, yeah.
If that's not improved, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Who were the other receivers? Because I feel like they had Christian Kirk at one point, but there's
they got that
AJ Green.
Moore, son.
And AJ Green, we'll see what he does.
AJ Green,
but,
dude,
they're becoming the LA Lakers of the receiving core of the NFL. They're just getting all the good old guys.
That'll be the test for the Titans: is can they slow down the passing offense, because they can just control the game with their run game, and now they have Julio Jones paired up with AJ Brown, so I think the offense will score some points.
They did lose Jonnu Smith, who was obviously a big piece in the puzzle last year for them. So it'll actually be curious to see how much Tannehill relied on Jonnu Smith, but obviously they replaced him with Julio Jones. But they lost Corey Davis, so I think that's a little bit of an upgrade there. We'll see. You guys think the Titans take that one or the Cardinals?
I want to say the Titans probably will win that game since it's at home, especially.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can never count out Kyler. It's year 3 for Kyler. He can ball out and show us why he's an MVP candidate.
That's true.
So the real quick, the Titans, they just lost their offensive coordinator to Falcons. Do you think that has any effect this year on their offense? Do you think they're going to do a little bit more, passing work, or do you think they're going to try and stick with the same?
I mean, there's a reason you signed Julio Jones, right?
Right. So you signed Julio. Do you continue with the heavy dose of Derrick
Do you think
Henry?
that's the move? Instead of opening up with Derrick Henry, you open up with your passing game to open it up for Derrick Henry.
Yeah. What's the better way to do it? What's the more efficient way?
He's got a lot of carries under his belt last few seasons. So I think, maybe I don't know.
I think people are looking at Julio Jones in a fantasy aspect and thinking, oh, he's not going to be as good. But in a real life aspect, he's absolutely just as good. So.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole thing. He went from a team that had Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones to now it's AJ Brown and Julio Jones. Why did his value? Yeah, but it seemed like his value dropped off dramatically, not just a little bit, but
I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think the Titans will be fine. Let's look at some other intrigue games. We got Steelers at Bills.
That's
mean,
going to be a good game.
this is going to be a good game, right? We got a pretty top-tier defense in Pittsburgh versus a top-tier offense in Buffalo.
I feel like we got two
Pittsburgh's-
good defenses, and like if Big Ben and they get a running game going, like this could be a very quality matchup because I think both units on both teams can be very good.
Well, this Buffalo versus Pittsburgh, that's actually going to be game one of the Poojie picks of the week. So we'll get the contest out back like we did last year. That's going to be game one. We do pick the winner, pick the over-under, and then total turnovers for 3 games during a Sunday. That's going to be game one, Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
Maybe this isn't the most intriguing matchup of like the top of the top tier teams, but Miami at New England, we're having 2 Alabama quarterbacks that one's in his rookie year, one's only been in a few years. Battle of the Alabama quarterbacks in the NFL in the AFC East.
Of the coach, the New England coaches, bro. What are you talking about? You got Brian Flores with the rematch, or not rematch, but the dude. I think, and you know that New England usually wins their game at home, and then Miami they usually split. You know, Miami wins at home, and then New England wins at home. So this is a game where the old, defensive coordinator or whatever linebackers coach is going into New England to try to win. So I think this is a super interesting game, Jacob.
I want y'all's input on this. Sam, should I make this game the third game of the contest and not do Sunday night? Because I have Buffalo, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Green Bay, Rams, Bears, Sunday Night Football, just because we typically cap it off with Sunday Night Football. But I scratched it out, but I want to make Miami, New England game number 3.
Absolutely make it Miami and New England.
I'm going to do that. Miami, New England.
If you think about it, both those teams have, going into the season, good defenses, we would say, and young, rising quarterbacks. I think Mac Jones, he's not played it down in a regular season game, but when I watch him play, he seems to understand the offense extremely well. He seems to really have Bill Belichick's trust. They literally cut his competition, and his style of play, he's not Tom Brady. Don't get it twisted. His style of play resembles Tom Brady much more, that I think Belichick's just going to eat it up and go back to the good old days of his offense.
All right. So Jacob, admit it then. He's your number 2 quarterback this year behind Trevor Lawrence.
Mac Jones?
Say it.
He actually might end up having the best rookie season of the entire squad of quarterbacks, because I think he's got the best situation now that he's the starter.
Thank you. Justin, I want to hear you say it too. You're on mute. I want to hear you say that Mac Jones is good, where y'all were talking shit thinking he was like the 4th best quarterback out of the group.
No, I'm not going to say that.
One of the only starters week 1, along with Trevor Lawrence and
No, from the very beginning, I said Zach Wilson was the 5th.
Yeah, he's trash.
So,
no, he's not trash. I think.
That's true. That's true.
I said it was Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson.
Stop.
You talk about talent, though.
No, I did. We have it. We have it on video. We have it on video.
Now I don't know who said. I'm not paying attention.
Click that button down there. Mock draft.
Well, by the way, if you can click down and subscribe and leave some comments.
Click down and subscribe. That I was on Mac Jones, and you guys fucking hated him because he's white.
No, but Sam, I liked Mac Jones.
No,
I did say. Now I know.
All right, maybe you loved Mac Jones.
I did say Mac Jones to the Patriots would be great, and I think they would take him because he's literally almost a replica of Brady in terms of play style. I think Bill Belichick's oh my gosh, I can just go back and do the same exact style of offense we've been doing for 2 decades with this guy, as opposed to Cam Newton, who likes to run around and jump it off.
You know what Bill Belichick is thinking right now, Jacob? He's like, yo, Tom Brady goes and he wins the Super Bowl. Everyone thinks I'm the fucking sorry ass piece of the duo, right?
Yeah.
So now he's like, I'm gonna win. I'm not going to win with the Cam Newton running type. I'm not going to do what all these other teams are doing. I'm not going to win like that. I'm going to win exactly how I won before with a different quarterback. just so everybody knows that I was the one in New England that was good. So I think that's the real reason why he was like, all right, Cam Newton, you're fucking out of here. Mac Jones, you're my starter. I'm gonna win with you and good ass defense.
You
and
gotta
then
realize
all these good ass, like tight ends and stuff. It's just Bill Belichick being an old bastard, wanting to take all the
being an old bastard.
I think our Miami fans that watch this and are friends with us aren't gonna like it, but it's like we got to give them credit. They won 7 games last year, and they had a bunch of defensive players opt out for COVID, and they had Cam Newton like at quarterback, who's not a bad player, but it just didn't fit. Now we're getting those defensive players back, and that's a defense that's very strong, very like low scoring allowed in the last few years, and also Mac Jones, who's going to have more of an offense that's spread out rather than like Cam is the offense, and it's just a decision of whether he passes it or runs it. Now
Sam, just because you loved Mac Jones in the draft process and I liked him doesn't mean I hated him. You're acting like I hated him.
No.
I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying.
So so yesterday I was watching The Herd like I usually do when I get home from work. I get on YouTube, watching the Colin Cowherd stuff. Anyway, so he was saying, how Bill Belichick is always really good against rookie quarterbacks, right? He's now, like he said, he's got all these defensive players back, and who is starting at quarterback in his division? You have Zach Wilson, rookie quarterback. You have Tua, first year, technically his first year after injury season, after COVID season, rookie quarterback. And then you have Josh Allen, who's played bad against the Patriots when they've been playing because
but that guy's an MVP
candidate, rookie quarterback. So that New England defense this year is going to be fire, and they have running backs. They have Mac Jones, who's going to protect the football. This team is going to be good. But I think the Bills run away with the division. Personally,
you mentioned it, Sam. Good point. You mentioned it earlier, Justin. We didn't have an answer. You're talking about a sleeper this year. We've already drafted our teams. I didn't get him on either team, but I think Jacoby Myers is a pretty big sleeper, just because you have a quarterback that's going to throw the ball now, and the other guys are Nelson Aguilar, a guy named Gunner. Pretty sure that's a dog's name and cheaper by the dozen. Jacoby Myers and dude, I think Jacoby Myers might be a big sleeper in terms of where he got drafted and like where he'll finish in fantasy. So if you haven't drafted yet, you probably did.
Jacoby Myers is like the over the middle, like the gadget kind of guy. Whereas
that's the history of the New England Patriots.
I get it. He's like the Julian Edelman.
Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker.
Now you have Nelson Aguilar on the outside with that speed and that deep ball PFF number 1.
You really love the deep ball.
Deep ball accuracy.
Jacoby Myers came in and started playing full time last year, week 7. He started week 7 and on. He played whatever that is, 10 games, 10 full games, and he had like 65 catches for 800 yards. He was averaging like 90 yards a game. So
they had no tight ends though. Now you have two. You have your whole offense now.
They also didn't have a quarterback.
Our Miami friends probably hate this episode right now. I apologize.
They also didn't have a quarterback. What's Maddie's thoughts on this whole thing?
Did you know that the backup right guard's name is Yasir, Sam?
Miami. The game.
The big game.
Maddie, what's your hot take? Is Miami beating the New England Patriots week 1?
Maddie said, dude, fuck those guys.
We'll probably say it again after the game.
Referring to the Patriots.
Well, here's what I know. I liked Mac Jones because I like passing quarterbacks. I feel like that is still...
Thank you.
Sam, I got a question for you. Who do you have more faith in week 1, Mac Jones or Tua Tagovailoa? Your roommate's right there.
I mean, it's week 1. They're playing the Patriots defense. You got all those defensive players.
Miami's got a pretty solid defense, though. And Ryan Flores is the Belichick, and he learned from him, so he might be good against rookie quarterbacks.
Tua's gonna be coming out firing though, but I mean
They're
missing
unleashing him this year.
starters. So
Final thoughts on Dolphins Patriots. Let's move to Browns at Chiefs real quick. We got to talk about this one. The old Texas Tech quarterback battle, Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes. It's a shootout. What is up with the NFL? They scheduled Clemson versus Clemson.
Clemson, yeah.
Alabama, Texas
Who else
Tech,
we
Texas Tech.
They're probably trying to get more college fans to get interested in the NFL. They're like, oh look, we score points now, and we have.
Wait a second.
In college, I don't know.
Where? Hold up.
What do we think about Browns at Chiefs? Is this even going to be a close game? I think Chiefs are favored by 6.5. Do the Browns have any magic from that Cleveland dirty water to bring to Kansas City?
Matt Stafford was Georgia, right?
Yeah.
And what if Justin Fields comes in the game?
And he played at Georgia.
Dude, did they do this on purpose?
They did this on purpose.
All the matchups.
Yo, is there any upside to, or anyone who's not thinking about maybe starting Kareem Hunt here in this game because it's his old team?
Are you asking for fantasy advice to your competitors?
You think it's a revenge game?
Everybody comment below here. Tell me who to start. Am I starting Kareem Hunt or like Deontay Johnson?
Wait, were you gonna draft Kyler Murray instead of Kareem Hunt?
Oh, for damn sure, dude.
Because I almost drafted Kareem Hunt there.
Oh, nice.
I was between Kareem Hunt and Kyler Murray.
I'll trade you right now. You want to trade?
Oh yeah. Because I have Trevor Lawrence, so I'll be okay.
Oh, stop.
So let's do it.
So
Browns at Chiefs. Jacob, any thoughts on this game?
I mean, I think the Browns have one of the best run game / like maybe defensive kind of run game duos, like combinations on a team. They just have the best run game, or they've had it.
Yeah.
And so that kind of feeds into, okay, a passing offense like the Chiefs. However, it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire now. They have all these guys that I don't think it matters how much like a Browns team kind of controls the game. I never count against Patrick Mahomes. If he loses the game, he loses the game. But I would always go in his favor.
Yeah, I like Patrick Mahomes in this spot. Apparently, the Chiefs are going to go 17-0. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know how likely that is. Sam, what about you?
I think that the Chiefs, apparently they have like a good run defense. So that was the only thing I was looking at. I was like, well, what the heck? Figured the fact the Chiefs would be on the ground. So
you know what's crazy about this game is the current line I think is Chiefs minus 6.5, and the Browns are like a playoff team. So that just shows you how good Kansas City's projected to be. Is that
quarterback matchups?
Yeah, like this is not
Baker against Patrick Mahomes.
This is not as close as a lot of us think it is, which I think is an interesting thought. And then the other intrigue matchup happening right here in Jacksonville, Florida, right here about 20 miles away. Your New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers here in Jacksonville, Florida, due to Hurricane. What was it? Ida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The French fry company.
Yeah, Ida.
Or Ida.
Jesus.
You fat ass. No.
Do you want Katrina or
going
Ida?
to this game? Are we going to the game?
No, I'm watching the Jags and Trevor Lawrence at home. I don't need no distractions. We don't need to see what the Packers are doing. We don't need to see what the Saints are doing. If you're a Jags fan, okay, I don't want to say don't go to the game because they're trying to fill that game. Watch Trevor Lawrence. This could be.
It's a 4 o'clock game. Packers is a 4 o'clock game.
Oh, well then I'm going to be celebrating, popping bottles.
I'll be
when Trevor
napping
Lawrence balls out and wins. So I'm not going to.
You'll be fapping.
I said napping.
Oh, I thought he said he'd be fapping.
Hey man, this is a family-friendly program.
Fabbing. Fun fact for you: first time 2 Super Bowl champions will be playing an NFL game here in Jacksonville.
Oh, really?
Think of that. That's never happened. We've never won one of those things, so it couldn't have happened.
And I'm not ready to yet.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Yeah, I'm
just still waiting. I'm waiting till I'm 30. We're waiting until we're 30. That's what we're doing here.
I'd
We got
rather
4 years.
that it happens later.
What would happen if the Jags? It's like a Cubs situation where it's like our old age.
Stop.
I'm literally like on my deathbed. I'm on my deathbed, and are the Jags gonna finally win? And they win, and then I can die a happy man.
And
I
the
feel
reason
like once we win, no one's gonna care anyway.
Nobody's gonna care. We're
That was
gonna
a
be
wasted
so
season.
loud. People are
yeah,
gonna hate
everyone's
people
gonna
for
say,
Jags.
why did we just play that season? Jags just won the
Yeah,
Super
we'll be
Bowl.
like-
Why did we play?
But I think if Trevor is the man we think he is, we'll be contending on a yearly basis in a few years. So hopefully it's not a one-time thing if we win.
Well,
Yo,
it'll
did
be
y'all-
interesting. Go for it, Sam.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did y'all see that like article that was like Jags staff prefer players who are married or whatever?
I feel like I did.
Yeah, did y'all see that? And it
Yeah,
made
but
me-
that was from 2013.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah.
What? I
Yeah.
thought we were talking about Urban Myers.
No, Austin Lane.
Dude, why would that be an
Oh.
Urban Meyer thing when he usually coaches like 19-year-olds?
No, so Austin
Yeah.
Lane was on the team back in like 2011, and when this whole vaccine cut decision happened, he retweeted an article about Jack Del Rio, or would that have been Mike Mularkey or something, that
Probably.
apparently when he was on the Jags, it was well known that they made cuts based on marital status because they knew like people wouldn't be going out and partying, and people
Right.
would, they're closer to home and they'd stay within their houses and stuff. And apparently that was okay to the NFLPA.
You just gotta
But-
say it's
Okay.
based on maturity. We just think he's more mature. What makes
More
you
mature.
think that? Oh, he's married. Sounds like-
I actually did think that about Trevor Lawrence coming out. I liked him because he had a girlfriend that he was proposing to, because that meant he was well ahead of his peers as far as what he had completed in life already to that point. So off the football field. So I thought that about Trevor Lawrence. I stand by it. Play a lot of football in college and get married, and you'll be a number one pick. That's the route. That's how it goes. Anything else from you guys? Let's do picks real quick. Jags, Texans. Give me your exact score predictions before we hang this thing up.
Sam, you go first. I want to hear what you got. Or you want me to
All
go
right,
first?
let's go 31. Let's go 31-24. Right here.
Ooh.
31-24.
Jags.
Okay. I like that. I actually was thinking about this earlier, knowing we record this. And I thought, what would I realistically say? And I say good case scenario, as long as the wheels don't fall off on Trevor's week 3 of preseason. I want to say the offense scores 31 points as well. And then I'm just like not sure yet what we're going to see out of the Texans defense. So I was going to give them like 17, trying to be hopeful, but I think we'll win. That might be a little hopeful for the defense to hold them up to 17, but I don't really know what I'm afraid of on Houston.
So I think we get just 4 tutters from the Jags. We don't get into the 30-point club, but we go 28. We get 2 from James Robinson, 2 from Trevor Lawrence, and I think the defense gets leaky, and I think that's going to be 28-24, and the Texans play a lot closer than they should because the defense gets a little weak in the knees in the second half, and the Jags come out on top 28-24 to start the season 0-1 and in first place in the AFC South. Don't
Yeah,
forget
wait.
that.
I kind of hope
You're
we
pissed.
aren't the only team that wins because everyone's going to flip their shit thinking, oh my gosh, and it's probably not going to end like that.
What'd you say, Sam?
No, I said like from earlier in the recording, you were like, oh, if they win, but it's not by a lot, then I'm gonna be pissed. So I figured you'd be.
No, I said if they win, but it's a dud performance, I'll be upset.
Yeah,
I
that's
said
what
if-
I said right before you said it too. I was like, you got on to me, even though I agreed with you.
And I said if they
Dude,
lose,
James
but
Robinson's gonna score like 2 tutters in his sleep. You don't even have to like.
I
know
said
why he won't?
I said my expectations are extremely high. Like I'm expecting us, based on what I've seen from the preseason, my expectations are leaning more towards like 37-20, but the realist in me is saying 28-24 based on me knowing the Jags. That's what I'm
Right.
saying is
Yo.
we should win this game by more than 4 points. But realistically, my prediction would have to be 4.
I should have $1 million.
But realistically,
Realistically, I don't.
I have $3.
Oh my god!
I have
I really do think though that James Robinson probably won't have a bunch of touchdowns because I think we have a quarterback that can throw it into the end zone from 20 yards out. We don't have to rely on him in the red zone anymore.
That's true.
However,
That's true.
I
He's gonna
think
have some yards though. He's gonna have some yards for real.
However, I think where a lot of rookie and young quarterbacks struggle the most is in the red zone early in their career because the field is a lot shorter and the playbook is a lot tighter. So I think that's where the James Robinson effect is going to come in. If we do get inside that 10-yard line, I would not be surprised if they go 70-30, James Robinson run to pass.
Do you guys think
I love that.
Duke Johnson will be on the final, the 53-man roster on game day?
Oh, that's a good question. Is there a reason for it?
We signed him.
Just a pass
Yeah, that's a
catcher
good
left out of the
question.
backfield. I'm not really scared of Carlos Hyde out of the backfield or Dare Ongumbawale. But I mean, you got Duke Johnson, then it's like, oh my God, he's practically a receiver at the running back
I know that
position.
guy. I can say his name. No, fucking. What was I gonna fucking say?
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Anything else from you guys before we hang it up? Hey, those out there listening, go for it, Sam.
Yo, I was gonna say, y'all seen the pictures of James Robinson in his new jersey number?
His new to Jersey. No, yeah.
He's looking thin and cut.
I thought it was shades of Jamal Charles.
Yeah, like kind of like a thick number when you.
Remember when Jamal Charles was on the team for a second?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, 30 was just such a thick number.
Oh my God.
Short, but
What just
Wait.
happened, Jacob?
Wait, for real? I forgot about that.
Yeah, when Jamal Charles was on the Jags for like 2 days.
dude, are you even a Jags fan, bro?
Dude, just close your eyes and imagine that. Think that thought. And
Well,
how
when I saw the 25
that
jersey,
is.
that's what I thought. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, James Robinson changes his number to 25. Fantastic.
He's going to sign anybody's number 30 jersey that reaches out. He's willing to do that because he knows he probably screwed up a lot of fans in their jerseys.
He's too sexy for that syrup. Too sexy for that syrup. All right, guys. Hey, those out there listening, thank you for listening. Check out the Poojie Podcast on Instagram to get in on the three-piece combo contest, Sunday three-piece combo. We'll have Buffalo, Pittsburgh at 1 o'clock. Then we have two 4:25 games, Green Bay, New Orleans, as well as New England, Miami. You'll pick the winner. You'll pick the over-under, and you'll pick total turnovers in the game combined. And if you get all 9 correct, you'll get $50 worth of free merch from the Poojie Podcast. Winner of the week will get $25 worth of free merch from the Poojie Podcast. So be sure to tune in to the Poojie Podcast on Instagram to play along with us, the three-piece combo contest on Instagram. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. We enjoyed having you. Thank you for all that tuned in live. Thank you if you're listening on the go, wherever you might be, or on YouTube. And thank you to our sponsors as well, Cimarron Golf Club. They always do a great job over there. And I'm looking forward to getting out and playing some golf as soon as we win this game on Sunday. As soon as Monday morning, maybe Monday afternoon, who knows? But I'm looking forward to getting out there. Guys, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yo,
fun-
Jacob, I heard that you're kind of you're becoming a golfer yourself. That's pretty cool.
No, I just spend money and show up. That doesn't mean you're good.
I mean, that's
right?
that's literally
That's what golf is.
what golf is. Like,
So I mean, like I don't know what you think you heard, but
I spend
Well,
money
let's
and
go.
show
Let's
up.
down low.
a little friendly competition sometime. You've been getting a lot of practice. I play like twice a year, so that'll make you.
I will
look-
say I'm probably one of the
Feel
most
good about
valuable golfers because I think my entire golf bag is $14 worth of clubs. So if we're gonna like maybe handicap it based on the price of your clubs, I think I can beat just about anybody.
His success, he's efficient. His success to club quality is very high.
I
So,
couldn't imagine what would happen if I had a set of clubs for $600.
Oh, stop.
Jeez.
That's like saying, "Oh, I'm suddenly gonna be like really good at basketball because I got some Jordans." It's like, stop.
Well,
You're
you
not-
probably should wear.
it's not a bad
I
comparison,
so like
actually.
Mike. That's exactly what happened in like Mike. So I don't know
That's
what you're
not a bad comparison, actually. Man, right when I thought we were signing off, now we're talking about golf. I love it.
talking about. Anyway, all I'm
right,
saying,
y'all.
Jack fans, just believe we got Trevor. So
Just believe. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. Fans out there, thanks for being here as well. Enjoy some Thursday night football, week 1 action between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Enjoy some NFL Sunday football as well, week 1, and maybe some college football on Saturday. But whatever you do, most importantly, like I always say, go make this world a better place and take care.
How can I be the man when you're the man? How can I be the man when you're the man? How can I be the man when you're the man?